Here we go. Recording in progress. Okay, amazing. Sam, thank you so much for jumping online with us quickly ahead of what's a really exciting weekend of racing there at Counties. I'll start with the, I guess, namesake race of the day, the MyRacehorse Counties Cup, where you're going to partner Diamond Jack, who finished second last start to El Vencedor, who's reigning horse of the year. So that's got to give you a bit of confidence.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. But yeah, it's looking forward to the weekend ahead. I've got a really nice book of rides. Obviously, headed with the Counties Cup and Diamond Jack for me. His run last start was so super. I mean, he's just been an evergreen horse. I won the Tamanui Cup on him earlier this year, or earlier in the season, I should say, and he's just. He's just never stopped putting in a good race. I mean, occasionally he likes to jump really slow out of the barriers. It seems to make a bit of a mess of it. But his last start run, I mean, our Vencedor's obviously got Group One form, and he hopped away from the barriers, Diamond Jack, and he travelled really well. And I mean, on that form, he'd have to, be pretty hard to beat on Saturday if he can just clear the machines. He's drawn a little bit wide, but that might not be the worst thing. We've had a little bit of rain around the area this week, so the track might start to sort of chip up a bit. And hopefully by that stage of the day, my wider draw might be an advantage as opposed to a disadvantage.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned that you've ridden this horse before, and I always find that really intriguing. How important is it to have that rapport with horses? Because I know that jockeys can also just jump on, no warm up, and be good as well. But how important is that?
I certainly think for a horse like him who can be a little bit quirky, like he's an easy horse to ride, don't get me wrong, but he um he certainly isn't always super straightforward. So knowing a few of his little quirks does, I think, help me in terms of like how I ride him in a race and how I assess a race as it's unfolding to give him his best chance.
Yeah, certainly. You're going to be a pretty busy woman on Saturday because I think you've got a ride in just about every race on the card. If people were going to put their five each way on you, which horse would you steer them towards?
Yeah, I've got a really interesting book of rides on Saturday. Like I really like my 2-year-old. She's having her first start.
Mm.
But if anyone goes back and watches her trial, it was super impressive. She's really, really professional. She's a daughter of Ole Kirk. I think, that going forward, they're going to be horses to stick with. Obviously, there's a little bit of race form already in it, and with 2-year-olds, that does seem to help. But it's a race I've won before, and I think she's got all the makings of a really nice filly. So she might go out paying probably a little bit overs just because she's a bit of the unknown, but I expect her to run really, really well.
I'm sure punters will appreciate that one. There's so much great racing ahead of us, especially with Ellerslie, the Christmas Carnival, Karaka Millions, etc. What day are you really looking forward to getting to this year or this season, I should
Oh,
say?
well, seeing as I've been away, I'm really looking forward to obviously Cracker Millions is something that I've missed for the last sort of 4 years. Also Champions Day, which I managed to watch from over in Brisbane last year, and especially now that I pretty much just live right around the corner from Ellerslie, it's just a stone's throw away. I mean, the racing there is. I mean, all of it's so exciting, but obviously Cracker Millions Day is fantastic, just ahead of the sales, and the track's in phenomenal order there. And like if we could race there every day, I'd be wrapped.
How's that for an endorsement for Ellerslie? I love it. Look, thank you so much, Sam. Great to catch up with you and great having you back here in our riding ranks. Best of luck for Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Easy, easy. You're happy with that?
Easy.
I thought that was great. If you're
Yeah.
all good, perfect.